Good evening and welcome to It's Football on 216, the one and only, the best football development show in the country. There's nothing as exciting as the youth development game, and we bring it to you in live format, exclusive insights, coach interviews, player interviews, and well, today we're particularly excited to have Solly Malatsi, the Minister of Communication, join us in studio on Football on 216 to speak about his SM Legacy tournaments and bringing back to Ikasi, the grassroots football. But I want the guys that know and love Ikasi, the best development league panelists in the country, Ora, Lebza, Fiso, all in the building. Guys, episode 23, Magumnandi, Ipinking. So yesterday, your Rapeleng got to do lots of touchline presenting. So his son sends him a voice note saying, "Oh, Papa." That's what the guys are laughing about. Ora, how are you guys?
Tando, how are you? Tagudi bedi selo na motho montle o le go gae ba a ke ba dumedisa ka gore ba ntshega a ke ba dumedisa.
Hayi winile empilweni mfana. Basema maqeda ukushaya i-touchline kanjena ngalela viki elidlulile maqeda umuntu abuye endlini athi papa. Usuke usafuna muphi umuntu ufuna muphi? Noma thina singakutshela ukuthi untswemi mara mawutshela abantwana bakho. Awinile.
I'm giving you the flowers also, man. But guys, we move on then in terms of the football that's currently taking place youth-wise. We know that lots of it has wrapped up. The guys are actually entering into exam season now. But the Gauteng Development League does go on, and this past weekend we saw an exciting patch of fixtures out at Clapham High. Once again with Mamelodi Sundowns still chasing under 13 and under 17. Actually, matter of fact, even the under 19 title. Let's get right into it with the experts. Guys, under 13, Lunga Nobela loses last week. This week he comes around and it's a different team.
Ntsala ke re buile gore coach Mlungisi Nobela ba tla gore a no se dinno tse di go godimo ka gone ene le Chiefs ha ba ka gapa gotlhe metshameko bone setseng ba tle go lekana ka jalo gore a kgone gore a gape tshwantsa no se dinno le plus 20 goals le tshwantsa dinno se ba ska ba monosa ka jalo Remonis Fiso how many offsides ntsala ke
Ya unqimali yo just 11 umpilo unqimali la offside amaningi but mawucheka lapha intwana zalunga Nobela kuyasho manje ukuthi intwana sesencane seziyakhathala manje uzokhumbula ukuthi idlala back to back Saturday Sunday so nokukhathala lokho kuba khona but inentwana improvile engithandayo ithandayo lezo ibiza ngo the ways or the wave
Sibuso Maruma ways
yo abaphasa dephuma kule ntwana leya thunqimali nqimali be offside but ugcinele korile igoli engibonile lisibe naye ulungu uthanda umqalisa ngaphandle angena ngaphakathi afika ashintsha igame.
Chaka scores the goal with his left foot. How good is Hlumile Chaka? Chaka Laka.
Ayi. Bafethu ama player nje yana sigaya commentary entswempu. Hayi lapha ngithema ngilokhu ngilala commentary yami leli goal leliyana ngazi bengikhuluma ngani. Sadance safe. Hayi tsempu Chaka Laka.
Ntswembu kakhulu. Yeah. So then, Lunga Nobela, guys, is there still a title race? That's what I want to understand, right? Because they won 3-2 against Galaxy on Saturday, 2-0 against Randburg on Sunday. Gunzagalani, is it still a race?
Ntsala ke ra go feleletsa under 13 league tsatsi la bofelo beketla ka gonne ka mo go emeng ka teng wena ntsala ke ne ba tlile go lekana ka di points ga ke buile gore ha ba ka gapa metshameko bone yotlhe ba go lekana ka di points. That is why Lunga Nobela a reng o batla go nosa dino se di go godimo thata gore a gone gore a compete le Chiefs ka gonne ha go ka fela go ntsena ba lekana Chiefs e tsaga goal difference pele ke garelantsa la ke gona le motshameki ka for Randburg jersey number 6 Blessing Moloi General
General le ntona le yana kahle beyidlala ku Super Sport United yabona Thando before Randburg ila ama player lawa ahanjiswa iSuper Sport United so Randburg yalanda iSuper Sport United yathi guys nama player maningi anizizameni lawo yabakuleyo lapha player lawo bidlala center yikho ibizwa ngo General show number 6 Randburg bayibuyisele emuva idefendile yantwana le izamile hayi kwasho ukuthi intwana zakalunga Nobela ndasithela isibhaco but masibuya kule question yakho yokuthi mina ngibona ngazi ukuthi mfethu angazi lebs ubona ngathi sesekhona ukugijimisana la between Chiefs nelokho
sesekhona ukugijimisana ne but lana ukugijimisana kuphele khona orapeleng kuma under 15 title race is done and dusted. Selekedi Mukhale is back from Namibia with his under 15 winners. They play against Randburg 3-2.
Ke bone ba ba eletsa guard of honor gore go fedile metshameko e leng gore ya latela ya di under 15 a tshwantse ba tswelle ba fe Selekedi Mukhale guard of honor ne go botsa kere a o tla stopa go fenya na selekedimo ga fa tsamanteng wa fenya ke mofenyi mare motshameko ono le monate thata ne le Madondo and Ramna Rain show maabane re bone jalo Ntokozo Madondo ano sa dilo di le pedi le ene Ramna Rain Rishik o na le sepalangwa Rishik o nkgatlhile thata motshameko ka gore o tshamekile sentle thata Rishik mme fela Randburg ke nagana gore ne kete ke be ba winne motshameko ka gonne confidence ya bone nka re tsamaile ya dropa ga motshameko o tswelela pele Rishik Ramna Rain ba createile ditšhono tse thata. First half, they could have buried the game, Randburg.
Yeah, I also feel that, right? Because we called that game together and they really compete, right? There's powers there, there's a Ramna Rain, there is Kakamba. Yeah. So they play some good football, but at the end of the day...
Bukeri, Marcus. Marcus Bukeri. Marcus Bukeri.
Somewhere Protea or something.
Did you see what he was doing to the ball? There's a point where he points at it.
That's inside. You'll come, but to don't say something we said. And into mnandi ngaye ke akusiya lama players ekasi ukuthi off the ball amark udlala emumva it defend wise uya defend uyakwazi ukuthi kumele ngiliphaseni nibhola kumele ngidwebe nini and lonto le iyenzeka ubonile noma jacket ukuthi beyenza lonto le ebuyela nale emumva so le nto le bafethu ukudelay mabona ngathi bani attacker kakhulu just ubuyela nalo ukuthi kancane bazohlehla ngabe bahlala azohlehla.
I enjoyed that, right? Because you always want to see that footwork and that skill. So the kid at one point, he even moves his shoulders like this. It's incredible. But the real star of that game was Ntokozo Madondo. The kid's a serial goal scorer. Scores 2 goals for Mamelodi Sundowns. Fiso caught up with him after the game. Let's hear what Ntokozo had to say.
Ayilalela mawumnandi mayikuwe ikuwe. Phela ngiphethe bani manje 11 seconds ngikhuluma ngoNtokozo Madondo. Lalela kuchazele kancane Ntokozo Madondo mfethu wakora igoli nge11 seconds. Ntokozo Madondo kuma game awu29 ube na 30 goals. Khambani mfethu?
Ngiphila kanjani?
Ngimnanja yami umfana wava mfethu ubuya va.
Mina ngiphuma eOSC eSoweto.
Yeah. So ufika kanjani kuSundowns because Sundowns ayiwenza ama trials?
Yeah, like uCodsem like ngangithola ngidlala eKasi like ngidlala bengina level. Ngidlala kuma under 13 so Codsem bathi kune opportunity sambe sondala eAlbertine so lapho baqala ukungibona khona uMamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah. So now moving forward mfethu ngiyabona ukuthi awuyibambanga kahle national team because age yakho bese ithe ukuthi yabona. So moving forward ufuna ukuzibona wenzakalani mfethu?
Yeah, moving forward ngifuna ukuzibona lapha ku national team nami ngifuna ukudlala ku national team ngichaza abazali bami. Yeah.
Otherwise bakuthola kanjani kuma Insta mfethu ngiyanazi nama Instagram abafethu bakuthola kanjani?
Yeah, mina nguMadondo 348.
Madondo 348 awumnani la
yabo
awe uyizwele ke nawe uyena Madondo 348 Gauteng Development League iyaphela kungekudala participate ida thwahla.
So that's Ntokozo Madondo. He says he's from Soweto White City. I'm like, how can I get to Soweto White City? It's nice to see Nintona as a Soweto man zidlala lapha eSundowns, but Oraveling, that kid you had the privilege of commentating that 11 seconds goal. How good is Madondo, man?
Yeah, go bua ka 11 seconds game goal re mitsa master 11 seconds ibile ke bo gona le sengwe se ke moditseng sone gape Ntokozo ke re o tsa kgwele ga o fetse o o e tsenya ka fotla sa skipper. What does it mean?
Does that mean? Yeah,
celebration. I go show next but nna ke a itse gore ko di senior players ga ba tsa bolo ba e tsenya ka ba re ba expectile. That's what it means for the senior players. Yeah, most of senior Serino Hana expected he did the same. Tebogo Mokwena I think Hana expected he did the same. So Kimudi the Nekwato Uga for N what's the meaning of it? Yeah, so Mari Kemutamiko Montata Ntokozo Madondo as a Hanzuba Motamiki Ano Sadino 35 Metamiko Tamiki Tamiki Metamiko 29 Unistedino deleted. So Abona Hore Usale hungry for Dino and Santa Crono Santokozo Madondo.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, so we carry on then with the results. Under 17 wise, there's still a title race going on there. Sundowns are in prime position to win that race. Should they win all their games, we'll see. Cosca's broken down some of those numbers for us, but yesterday it's not so clear-cut. They played 2-1 against Randburg. They fight, and then eventually towards the end it works out, guys.
Patrick Chisunga. Jersey number 11, Randburg. Ba thusitse ka gona ba nositse pele ke bone ka re go itshepanyana go a go fatse go Sundowns fetsa go nosa Chisunga ba tshameka bana na le busy ne ba bereka buliemo go morago kwa ne ba bereka overtime ka jalo Randburg e batlile wena Thando e thuba mokete wa Sundowns fela Sundowns ba bontshitse jalo quality ba nang le yona ntsala ke gore banna ba iketlile ba riti ba le ba tshameka ba isimole sentle gantsi ha o koriwa wena ora wa phenika gore ke a jewa yana fela Sundowns e bontshitse gore okay ba re nositse pele ka jalo re dira eng ra iketla stick to the game plan ra neletsana game plan ya bona ra ba itse ba neletsana kgwele ba kgona gore ba nose ba fela ba fetsa ba gapile motshameko ntse like
Yeah, mina ekakhulukazi into engifuna nje uqale ngikhulume ngayo ekakhulukazi lapha kwi-Randburg AFC ngijabulela ukubona inamba yama-player a-white kwi-Randburg AFC into ebalulekile leyo angeke sizelana ngathi sizopromota kuphela abodaki nani nani ubonile ama-player white sihlale sikhuluma ngawo ukuthi asisawabona ama-player white but now ngibuyele laphana emdlalweni ngibone laphana ukulimala kwaHlompho Mampuru ngathi kuyilimazile iRandburg uzokhumbula Hlompho Mampuru ucaptain wayo lapha neRandburg AFC uqala ngaphandle because ubelimele omunye umuntu abamqalise ngaphandle jersey number 10 Masunungure uqala ngaphandle naye laphana and uyakora futhi uphewulena laphana ngibone no khona lentwana le ebelokhu idlala Okira onayise kujola kubona
siso ba litse le barile le
jersey number 18 Okira
yeah
onayise kujola kubona le ntwana leyana ebidlala i3 but isuka ngapha iyale lokho hamba kanje ayikhathala so iRandburg AFC ngithema ngikhuluma nabo coach bayo bo2 into abayichazile bathi sharp siyayibona iresa but into ezowenzeka i-team ezowena namhlanje ina 90% yamathuba yokuthi ithathe amanda 17 okusho khona Sundowns ama percent ayo
akhuphukile awuyalo ke buisane le tiro Van Rooyen le coach Fisto ga motshameko o simolla you could see gore what really it means for that game le the relief the second goal ke bone tiro Van Rooyen a rola ho isa ba itshwara tlhogana ya no gora gore motshameko le ne motshameko o popota tota
He killed me in that press conference, in that pre-match that you had with him, because what does he say? He says, no, I have bad luck in Cape Town, but yeah, Jonesy, I'm fine. I know I'll be good. But then the under-19 game, it's tight for long and large periods of the game. Sundowns score in minutes 70 plus, but then there's a bit of rain over the weekend at Clapham High in Pretoria, and then that match ends up being abandoned. Sundowns leading 2-0 when they abandoned that game. But for me, it's weird, Ora, because what does the match commissioner, Mr. Shongwe, say? He says, no, the match will be replayed, but they're going to start it from 0-0 from the beginning. Man, there's a title race here. There's kids that are playing to win. How can you restart when there's 10 minutes left?
I think the league games, they restart from scratch. The cup games, I think
it was league, that Magesi. I think it was Sekukune. It was one of the Limpopo teams.
Yeah.
Or was it Kellens? Must have been Kellens. Yeah. So what happens, Fiso came, you played, you winning 2-0, man.
Mina nama ngazi ke mai kanjena mfethu
but ga o ka lebella motshameko le wena Thando ga se motshameko ile gore man no le popota no le too tactical that game ga o ka lebella coach Scosi is a good coach le coach surprise Muridi ke coach tse di right but fela ga o ka lebella I think lapse of concentration go run back for those after second half that's the game started nka re a phela re bone jalo le ka bana le la matlhogono lo kotsokwana second half uthomile nna le energy started shooting ke ka for re bone motshameko ona ba khona no sa dino di le pedi but a re itse gora gore Sundowns gape e salla go morago ka metshameko
mawuchecka nayo ke iRandburg AFC because ibidlana Highlands Park kwaphinde kwanemvula futhi ngathi leyo game ikhanseliwe I think Tuesday night ngingakhuluma no coach wabo kushuthi ama game awu2 akhanseliwe ngenxa yemvula kushuthi nayo isalele emumva ngomdlalo so kushuthi nayo sisene chance but although yona ayikho ukuthi iyagijima ifuna ukuyoyiqukula but ine chance angazi wenzani but ine chance
In a race, but the Sundowns are in a race, but it's okay, man.
I think no, it's a chance to get to the top 8 because other team wants to go 12th position. So I think they can just push Abaga Fita go top 8.
Yeah.
Good friend. She's like convinced. It's a good friend. I have a man that knows the numbers, that loves the digits. He'll tell us as to where exactly they are expected to finish. Coscarinho is up next with Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner on football on 216, and the guys have changed it. The Palador's not coming from De Janeiro anymore. It's coming from the Val now. I don't know, Cosca.
Yeah, no, look, Tando, the Palador has been shipped to the Val.
Yeah.
So it has been there for some time, apparently, because, you know, much is 18 more. So I don't know about your car seriously. it's going to be dry for some time there.
Next week, Monday, is the ceremony, actually. So yeah, it's going to be, you must take it back, man.
Yeah,
you
no,
must
it's
take it
coming.
back. But, Coach, what are we doing
coming
today,
back.
man? I see you've got the screen. What's up, man? Take it.
Yeah, man. Good evening, Ora. Are you good, my man? You all right?
Coach Cosca.
Lekker, man. Yeah, today, Tando, we will be touching on, so we will definitely be touching on GDPL, GDL, who's coming up and who's going. So if we had some people going in the GDPL, we would be moaning them right now. But yeah, we will moan the ones who are leaving the GDL. So under 13s, I've focused more on their win rate. So if you can check, the win rate, yeah, Kaizer Chiefs is 84%. And closely, Ngolonga Nobela's 1.2. The difference is only 1.2%. So it's very, very close. And I heard Malebza in the first segment saying that, it's still in the running, but can a team score 20 goals in one match? Sure. We don't know. We really don't know. Yeah, But Tando, what I'm looking for right now, my man, is the concern about NW Val, man. You see that 0%. It's very concerning. And one of the coaches posted something in the socials saying that if you are not a person of development, then patience definitely you don't have. So I know NW Val, they have a good structure. It is just unfortunate that they are almost gone. They are guaranteed that they are gone. But yeah, let's move on, Mr. Mchiako.
So they haven't won a game, Cosca.
They haven't won a game, my brother. They haven't won a game. Yeah, so it's not okay, but it'll get there. Under 15 rate. Let's touch on Itimga Mr. Dipalo Palo. I like calling him that. So you'll see that he's on a 90 percentile. So if you are getting 90%, sorry about that, if you are getting 90% of your win rate, so you guarantee 3 points on every game that you are playing. And you see that the trend, oh God, you see the technology now, Tandom Chiako.
Pause at that, Coach.
So you see, immediately once you get to a 90 percentile like that, you'll see that the trend, it definitely is complemented by yourself. So the next one in line is 65%. So there's a big gap. There's a big gap. And I heard that he got a guard of honor.
Yeah, it's okay. Really guard of honor ka mafelo a beke. Go ra gore go tloga fo ke di guard of honor fo metshameko e setse ya Sundown. I mean, o diragaditse bontle tota. Ke mofeng?
Ke mofeng. What can we say? I don't know.
The second place team is so far behind then, 60.
65%. So it says a lot.
Has been in a class of his own.
It says a lot about him. Yeah. So looking at the under 19s win rate, you have an 80 percentile from Highlands Park. This one is very close. And then the second one comes at 79.31. So you can see a 0.7 percentile is not so bad, but at the same time, it's actually telling you that I think it's a three horse race. And then at the back end, which is inverted, 15% it's not so nice for Vets Junior stature, because we know Vets Juniors have created a lot of players back in the days, you know. So yeah, but they'll get there. But NW Val, 25.8, it's okay. So they needed a balance in their structure. They needed a balance. So Tando, man, and while we are talking about balance, my man, I want you to check Sevens Academy, Joburg City, Randburg, and Vets Juniors. These are total points accumulated. So these Sevens Academy have accumulated 174.
So wait, Coach, this is the entire club now.
100%.
I am look at this, man.
What's the overall? Overall, this is the standings now.
This is the standing.
Rosina, Northwest Val.
Yeah, they are in trouble.
But School of Excellence, guys, since when are they relegated and threatened?
Yeah, so 122 is not enough, but it's actually enough to get you out of it. So we still have a game to go. So we'll see. We'll see. Rosina stands a good chance to actually leapfrog them, but we will see. But my main talking point here, Tando, is between Tax, Vets, Randburg, Joburg City, and Sevens Academy. We talk of consistency. They are the teams that have accumulated points where it matters the most to actually run away from that relegation. So immediately once you have 130 points, then you are guaranteed that you are not going anywhere. So I believe next year teams will definitely gun for that. So while we are at it, Wenatando, the overall standings, they are like this. Rosina you can tell that they are under. Their under 19s have contributed a lot to their numbers, because look at their graph. You see the dark color represents their under 19s, and it tells you that they have accumulated a lot of points. But their under 13s have not made it so nicely for them. Even NW Val, they have not accumulated as much points as you would have liked. And you see their under 19s have accumulated a lot. 31 points under 19, NW Val 19 points, but only 3 points from under 13s. Most definitely those are draws.
Go tla utlwisa botlhoko thata go bona setlhopha se tshwana le Rosina se di bane Modiba sports school ba.
You can't get into a football match with emotions. You have to.
But you know what's
You have to
interesting
collect
for me?
points.
Those two School of Excellence in Rosina, those are sports schools, right?
Yes.
They shouldn't be
But
at
they are
the
there.
lower.
Am I lying? Numbers don't lie. But they are there, Jaco.
And re bo lebella bo Sevens Academy. Ke mana nagana gore bo Sevens Academy ba kana
Good
go ba leng
structure.
teng fana.
Good structure. What I know about Sevens is that they have a good technical team. They are well run. Facilities top. Their mandate top. I had a discussion with them when they were here. They have a specific game model they follow, and it's rare for a team to have a game model and to implement that game model from 13 to 17. Look at their accumulation of points. You can tell that these guys are collecting points from 13s up until under 19s. And then you look at teams like Highlands Park, they are also consistent. 77 points collected from under 19s. That's why they are running for the top honors. But Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs, setting up trends. Yeah. They're setting up trends.
Jeez, I like this, Cosca.
You love it.
Oh, you should give me this to commentate.
Visionary football solutions, my man. You can get it freely.
It's visual, no, it's visual.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, Tando, man, I've spoken about consistency, but now
EPL,
let's talk of Gauteng Development Promotional League. Who's joining us in the next coming season? You'll see that on the tail end, VT United. I don't know what it stands for, but I know that it's definitely standing at the bottom of the log.
So they get relegated again.
I don't know whether GDPL relegates.
Is there another?
I don't know. No, I doubt, Tando. But Elspark, 268 overall, and then Rock EVF.
Rock EFVS
FC, 259. They stand a good chance of coming through. So with about 2 or 3 games to go, Elspark is a good academy. I remember when I was still at Resa in 2021, we played them. They were good. By the way, I got an unbeaten season by that time, so they didn't beat me. So I'm just giving them flowers. I'm giving them flowers. But they might be joining us, and closely it's Prestige. So between Rock EVS and Prestige, one of them can be coming. But definitely Elspark is definitely joining us.
The boys from the East.
Yeah, the boys from the East. Ikasilagas Fiso.
What do you have for us now?
Guys, I want you guys to have a look at this game. And this is Kaizer Chiefs. They are under 19. They were Papatling NW Val.
This was in the final.
This is in the final, my brother. And I want you to check the passage of play. Remember, we are talking about build-up play. We're talking about a team that has structure, the team that is specific in whatever that they are doing. So Kaizer Chiefs here, their build-up play is so fascinating in a sense that you will see that the ball playing, look you see, this breeds confidence and slowly building from the back. Now a direct pass to exploit them in the center. You get it wide and then you play it in the middle. Bang. You are buried. Bang. You are buried. All of them are focused on the other side. But what happens?
It's a goal.
Mangoba Ozomena puts it in the net.
It's a goal. It's a goal. So these are the things you have to look at when you are playing like in the GDL. Now we're looking at Mamelodi Sundowns. Just look at the passage of play, Tando. Chasing the ball and winning the ball in the attacking third. Immediately once you have an off-the-ball runner, they're not checking their runner. Bang.
That ball, that's a dispense splitting pass.
Bang.
Look at that pass.
Bang, out here. So these are the details to spot the pass.
And o lebelle defense 4 against 2 mara ba khonne go feta ka bona ba le go khona.
100%, Ora. So these are things we need to take into consideration, man, when we are playing in the GDL, because you can't be facing opposition like Mamelodi Sundowns without paying attention to detail. Look here, they're winning the ball in the attacking third. Immediately, they don't turn back. Immediately, you spot a pass and you play it across. Composure, it says a lot.
Good running off the ball also.
Exactly.
Coach,
So-
I see you have another one there. What's happening there?
Okay, Tando. I want to show you under 17 because this again is another tight one. You have Mamelodi Sundowns that's leading the pack, but Resa is also there, is also close to them. So it's really very close. And when you check Amastats away Mamelodi Sundowns, it tells you that they are performing to expectations, because this past weekend we need to get that win because Resa will leapfrog us. But they have had a phenomenal season so far. So Tando, my man, these are the numbers. You'll get them. Visionary Football Solutions. You love them? Go there.
Oh man, I love them. I need them for my commentary.
No, for sure. I'll make them available. Don't worry. Don't worry, my man.
So is that done then? Wow.
My man, we can talk all day, all night. But for the sake of time, let's just keep it at that, and let's look forward to our visitors in the GDPL to come and join us next year so that we can Tlatamula and analyze it.
Speaking of visitors, we've got a special visitor coming through to football on 216 in the next segment. The ministry, bathi siyakhuphuka. Football on 216, kancane bafethu siyavela. Stay tuned to the next segments to find out who's Fiso and I are sitting down with. Football on 216. Welcome back to the show, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the watch so far. We've just wrapped up Coach's Corner with Coach Coscarinho, but this is particularly the segment that we've been looking forward to in this show. Then Football on 216, kancane siyavela. We have a minister in the building, and this just shows how much the show is growing. So we have Solomon Malatsi, the Minister of Communication. He's joined by Ms. Zotwa Veleman of Lucky Star, and they're going to tell us all about the SM Legacy Tournament that took place a couple of weeks ago now, all out in Limpopo. I'm tagged out nentwana yami uSifiso Kuhle Msimango, intwana yaseKasi, sizokhuluma ibhola laseKasi. Sifiso, makumnandi mfana kithi.
Hayi makumnandi kunyezwa reva mfethu, njengoba ubusushilo usuchazile ukuthi siphethe minister, siphethe laphana noZodwa. Ekakhulukazi masingaqala ngayo minister, SM Legacy ngiyazi mina sengicabanga ukuthi isho ukuthini. Isho ukuthini kumele ngihle kahle no SM Legacy. Mina sengicabangile.
I think we cabange ngendlela right, you know. So the SM stands for my name, Soli Malatsi Legacy, and into esifuna ukuyenza masiqala le tournament because nami ngadlala ibhola but bengekho mnandi. So bengekho mnandi, and the idea was, you know, Lalini, there's never been like well-organized proper platforms for a tournament. You know, you see those ekasi in the townships, but not in the villages. And we started this in 2017 to make it a premier platform for grassroots sports development in Limpopo, because the idea was ultimately sifuna umuntu makafuna talent ayazi ukuthi in Limpopo there's this tournament. It takes place around this time, which is usually September to early October, and that's where I'm going to be looking for quality youngsters that can either go play with my NFD and PSL.
So why Limpopo? Are you perhaps from Limpopo? Why the selection of that Kasi?
So I am from Limpopo, so that's the bias in there, and it takes place in Polokwane, which is where I'm from. And I think for me, the motivator was you can bring these platforms to areas that don't have them, right? So that not everything is concentrated around big cities or big townships like Abu Shehu, Soweto, Abu Tembisa, because those are already having their platforms. But the amount of talent in these areas can never be seen if we don't create the same platforms or even better platforms in those areas.
Zotwa, Uthanda ibhola now.
I don't have a choice. I've got a son who's an absolute, he's a goalkeeper. So okay, every day we are busy with soccer. In fact, the TV in the house, ihlala sports channels, and that's all,
Speak to us about your involvement with SM Legacy.
Actually, it started long before even it was the SM, legacy, because I remember it was like even COVID days, when Soli, as it was, approached us and said, I'm running, I'm supporting underprivileged. Is there a way that Oceana Lucky Star can actually be involved? And with the then CEO, we chatted and we said, absolutely, and we did our first donation. And as it happened, he came back for the second run. I was like, but this is a habit now. So needless to say, we went on for the second one. And that's when we actually started about like what he does other than, running solo. Because at the time, we had restrictions. So then he approached us and he said that, we've got this proposal. This is actually what we do. And quite frankly, I just think that, there were so many synergies between who we are as Lucky Star, the values we enshrine, like team building. The brand is the brand of the people. And also we try to go to areas that one would consider underserviced in many things that we actually do. So we're not just about the cities, about Soweto, just about, Cape Town where we are. But as soon as we're able to take us and we can partner in something that's meaningful, using the brand, because, it's so visible, it resonates with so many people, and it's all about the healthy lifestyle that we are promoting. What better way to do it than to support something that has just been phenomenal over the years?
Yeah. Mina into engizoyibuza khona ngizoyibuza kini noyi2. Ngicale ngawe minister. Unomuntu obuza ekhaya ukuthi I've been running a tournament, I've been running a team, but angina sponsor. Yini ama pointers ungamnikeza wena ukuthi uzuthole isponsor njenge Lucky Star, and then zodwa nina nibhekani kahle kahle ukuthi umuntu mayine tournament naye ngiyasubmita, yini nibheka ukuthi okay sharp singakwazi ukuthi sipartner nawe sikusponsor.
Because maningi la tournament.
Because maningi abantu abashoyo ukuthi
Look, it's a fair question. Into eqala, I think any brand or sponsor wants something credible. Yeah. And nathi like, esusizodwa asho, like siqale ngokugijima before we got to eFootball. So during COVID, because I ran Comrades Marathon, during COVID, mina nenye mpinjami, we decided, there are no races that are happening, right? So how about skijime from Soweto to Tzaneen, which is 523 kilometers.
Madness.
Yeah. We ran that over 14 days, raised $500,000. And during part of that, we reached out to them. We're like, Lucky Star, we know you're also doing something with, school children. And this initiative is about supporting poor learners in these rural areas in Limpopo. Can you come on board? Then they came on board. And then a year later, we're like, by the way, we don't only just do this. We've got a football tournament that we are running annually, and we think it aligns with, the work that you do. And it took long, because it takes proposals, but you also have to make it relevant to the brand to see why it's valuable for them. Because as you said, tournament, I can only imagine they get millions and millions of proposals to do this. So I think the key thing is don't look for donations, but look for partnership. And those partnerships must show Uguchi for the investment abazoileta towards the tournament. How does it then align, with the programs that they're doing towards community upliftment? Because as you say, the competition is high for that. And for others, they look at grassroots level. They're like, well, it won't get us the numbers that we do. But Tina, like says Uguchi, idliwa pile fish. So that was one of our things to say, this is where your market is. And what we are doing is bringing people closer to even your product. And in that way, I think we align very well.
Yeah.
Well, I think, I'm not going to repeat what the minister said. We get lots of proposals. And I think because, as you said, brand all over, it's iconic, it's the favorite, it's voted as such. It attracts a lot of goodwill from people. And they always come with our proposal. But the truth of the matter is that, the resources are so much, we can only do so much. And when you get involved, you don't want to be in for today, gone the next day. You want to partner for the long haul. That's why it's actually a partnership. And also, I think what has been important to us, and I think maybe I'll bring in the relationship that we've just brought on board with IFA Post, to say we want to reach as many communities as possible, because it's all about dreams and giving people that platform to actually say, I've got talent, I can play at the top levels. And now all of a sudden, you know, they are also SAFA accredited. They've got clinics that they run for the kids. It's more than, you know, a tournament. There are those add-ons. Also, you know, it's important around, you know, like your healthy lifestyle, making sure that, you know, there's a school that is being encouraged. And also, you know, drugs, alcohol, you talk about these things. So we are bringing that on board so that we are able to be national, because that's the idea. But, you know, the SML showed us that there's a potential, there's a possibility. This partnership works as long as we are aligned. And we put, obviously, the resources. We need to make sure we work together. And we see these children progressing. I think for me, that's the main thing as well. So, I mean, that's just how some of the things that we look at. But the technocrats will look into it and look at budgets and how to be supported. But for the long haul, we are right here, you know, on grassroots. Soccer development is something that we really, really found very precious for our brand.
Yeah. Minister, let's speak about, you speak of community upliftment, Kulisa, community ngepola. What is the thinking behind it? And how is the tournament able to bring up the community just by that oval shape, that sphere?
Yeah. So one of the things that I was very clear about from the beginning was that we are going to make ours unique so that it's not just about matches being played, you know, because there are matches everywhere, there's tournaments everywhere, but we're going to use this also to lift the skills also of young people who, like me, were not good soccer players, but they've got a passion, for instance, in sports. So if you look at the committee that runs my tournaments, it's all kids, man, like from 14-year-old to 19-year-olds that get the field prepared, that actually run the whole thing, even in my presence. This year, because of work, I was only able to attend 2 weekends, right? And you couldn't tell whether I was there or not because we have trained these kids well enough from an event management perspective to branding the field, to making sure that the teams are all properly briefed. And I've been so proud of the difference that we have made in these youngsters, because now we've got our own match commentators, you know, and the dream is we'll see them, you know, going into bigger channels. We've got partnerships with university students that are studying medicine and physiotherapy that, you know, come to our tournaments and offer services for those athletes. Because what we want to showcase is that football involves a whole lot of partners beyond just the players and the spectators, right? So from an event execution perspective, from match commentary, from our media, even our social media is run by youngsters, you know, all of them. And the key thing is this thing must be able to live even if I might not be around at one stage, because we've built such a strong platform, and also to build partnerships with local schools. So one of the things that we always do is every tournament, the number of goals that are scored in the tournament is the number of school shoes that will donate to the 2 local primary schools that are in there, right? So that also shows that we then use sport to uplift the local communities that are around us. I mean, we've also just been grateful in the partners that we've had. I mean, having Lucky Star on board, because it's an expensive thing to run a tournament, and to also keep it competitive. Coming in with that resource. We've also had another partner where in every man of the match in our tournament, we've got 60 matches playing, goes home with a bag of meal. And if we are Lalini, yes, in fact, if we are Lalini, yes, Gucci, Impopu sorts one part of the problem of having a meal on the table. And if in Tuanayaki Vaile for 90 minutes, best player on the day, he comes back with that. That thing makes a lot of difference, Endlin. There's this boy who, in the tournament, he played 4 games, won man of the match 3 times, and on the final day, he also had a Lucky Star hamper, you know, which had, you know, their various products. So he was like, today I've got a bonus. Impupu, So those are some of the things, because we understand where these young players come from. Not all of them are going to be able to play professionally, right? But those that are playing there, we are making it rewarding for them. And that's why I was like, because bazothengisa nabo bazozula, and for Tina it's an open field environment. So if you are selling amaskopas, you are selling amautwana, we don't charge you to come and do that, because we come from those communities. We know that that's a livelihood for Abantu Basekas. But obviously the other dream is, you know, to get players moving. And this year, a lot of good things just aligned. You know, we had ama-team afana nabo Sekhukhune, University of Pretoria and Magezi. And to that end, 4 under-21 players have all gotten, themselves offers for contracts with this team. So as soon as they are done with matric exams, they are going for their assessments and then hopefully they'll be signed.
Yeah. Sisizodwa ekakhulukazi lapha mina ngiconsent ama-tournament directors asesemancane. I know ukuthi busuyiphendulile leya question, but mawungayenza ibe simple to them ukuthi nakho ngine-tournament ngiyayivula namhlanje. Yini into kumele ngiyenze kahle kahle ukuze ngithole lapha ukuthi ngibe ku-partnership nani or ngithole sponsorship yakhe. Uyenze ibe simple, busuyichazile ngayi-understanda, but kumuntu ohlele ekhaya manje obukele le show angeke ayi-understand fan one. Yeah.
I just think that first of all, people need to be organized, and the earlier you approach, the better, because there are budgets that are put in behind this and all this. So Umuza, like he says, I'm financial place like now. If financial year ended to 30 September. So needless to say, by the 1st of October, we know what we are going to do for the next year. So by the time Uza says it, our budgets have been committed. That's the reality of the situation. So you need to make sure that you plan timelessly. Secondly, copy paste, it does not work. Proposal you submit to the one company to the other, and then we let it. You will see it doesn't talk to us. You copy paste ususile lapho nalapho awazi ukuthi senzani. You'll know ukuthi kunefishu tamani uyilahlela here and there, but you can see it is not thought out for the brand. So you need to sit and workshop and say, this is what we do, and why are we coming to Lucky Star? What are the alignments? What would actually resonate with this brand? Because that's what it's all about, right? Yeah. So there needs to resonate, somewhere. Yeah. And I think the third thing is the credibility of the people behind the proposal. Because I think we have seen, we want to be entrepreneurs. It's where the youngsters, they are go-getters, they want things done, manje. But sometimes, with the Sweli Malati legacy, it started in 2017. So there's longevity. You've put things in place, there are processes, you've thought it out. And I'm not saying that you need to have been there for that long, because some ideas are quick and turn around, it's in and out, it's opportunistic. But many brands, they no longer do a more opportunistic sponsorship because you want the long-term relationship. You want to build on it. You want to be able to add on other things onto the platform because you know that you are servicing the communities. And sometimes you find even the brand itself, so it's not even sometimes about Lucky Star. It's about the players. It's about meeting them where they are at. So those things, I think, just top line are very, very important.
Speaking of longevity and long-term, what's the long-term plan now for the tournament?
So the long-term plan for the tournament is to just make it the premier platform for grassroots development in Limpopo. We also, at this stage, because of the volume of interest, going to be making a decision about having a school element of it. Because in the areas that we serve, and these are quintile 1 schools, right? There isn't sport. Sport is literally dead in those areas. And these youngsters are missing out on the prospect of just competing in these competitions and even going to much more regional and national competitions. But it's labor intensive, this thing, to set up a field on a day-by-day basis, to have referees there, sound, production. But we've got enough of a team to do that. But we've been approached by schools in the area to say, well, can't you do something for the schools? And we think with the help of the teachers, that will be much more easier to execute. But ultimately, it's also about facilities. We use one field for 60 games, and that's why the tournament takes over 6 weekends. So one of the things that we'll be working on in the long term is an upgrade of that facility into just a decent sports facility, and also to start seeing, the talent that emerges from there, whether it's players, whether it's commentators, whether it's, the event organizers, also growing into doing bigger things in the sport, so that from a skills development perspective, we can also produce these kids and have some of them even doing JDL or end up, commentating on PSL games.
Yeah.
One more question.
Yeah, so into engayibuza la wena minister ukuthi ngiyazi ama picture mhlawumbe bayawubona kahle but ngiyazi tournament yena akusiyi Father's Day kuphela. Cela ungitshele nge-involvement abantu besifazane kuyona i-tournament yena. Ngiyazi khona abantu besifazane kunjani ukuthola abantu besifazane lapha na cause eLimpopo ngiyasho kufana nabo KZN ibhola abantu besifazane alikajwayela kakhulu.
I'm very glad you asked that question because when we started the tournament in 2017, we realized that there are not enough women's teams in the area. So what we did from 2017 to 2019 was we would always invite the 2 local teams to curtain raise on the day of the final, right? So that we help elevate the stature of women's football. But since 2019, we then decided we are going to have a women's edition of it because there are more clubs that are playing in the league. But because there are so few of them and they are far apart, we invite them. And for those, they don't affiliate, but there's a prize money to them because what we are doing is reduce the cost for them to be involved and reward their involvement. And for 5 years now, we've always had 4 to 8 women's teams playing in the tournament. Wow. And the dream would be, to get it to 8. But that also depends because around the area of Polokwane, for instance, there are 16 women's teams. Yeah. Out of all these 16 teams, they are spread over 450 kilometers. So for them, even though they don't spend money on affiliating, the travel costs to come for 3 weeks to play the match is a lot. Yeah. Hence, we try and minimize that. But we are very, very determined that women's sport and women football is one of the key elements of our tournament.
Okay, no, guys, I think that's been good. Mamzotwa, let's maybe, what's the future looking like for this partnership? Just in terms of that longevity, what does the future of that partnership look like, just to end the show?
I just think that, we've covered bulk of it, but we're here for the long haul. And there's no jealousy in this thing because it talks about, developing our children. So even though it's a Lucky Star Cup, but there's so much that we actually need, the physiotherapists, there's infrastructure. People must come on board and actually do the bit that they can, because it's all about just kicking this needle forward, and it's very important for all of us. That's all for now.
That's all for now. No, I think that should be good. So happy. Wabuzile lama question we happy ngepola la selimpope la sekas. Quick one, Minister, how do teams get involved? There's a team watching this. How do they get involved for next year, man?
So usually around June, we do the call out for teams on our Facebook page, SM Legacy Tournament. And then it always has the details in terms of how to join. It's fascinating because I always tell the local teams, that the 25th of December is Christmas Day, right? So they know that September time is our tournament time. So some teams have already secured their slots for next year because they don't want to miss out. Yeah. And the challenge we have is that, we are going to look at having more teams, but we need more fields. So we might end up having it in 2 communities so that we accommodate the volume of the teams. But the key thing for us is just to continue growing with our partners and to be grateful for a tournament in Limpopo, in a largely rural area, to have the kind of partnership that we've had with Lucky Star. It's really helped us grow, but also even with the platform that SuperSport has done. For the past 3 years, SuperSport has been covering our semi-finals and our finals and even giving us this. What that does help is it just elevates the stature of the tournament, and that's why we even attract teams from Gauteng because they want to get to the finals and have their games playing on SuperSport. And that for us shows that we have, as Sizodwa said, been able to build something credible. And to do that, it just requires constantly looking for ways to improve, but always see opportunities, how you are in alignment with your partners, because it's not a one-way relationship, this thing. It must make sense for the businesses that get involved. And for us, it's a matter of showing how we are continuing to grow and remain relevant for the interests that they have.
Minister, thank you so much, man, for your time, for coming through to the studio. Zotwa, thank you too. Thank you guys for the work that you're doing in developing football. I've never seen a minister go so deeply into sports and what really we're meant to be doing, right, when we're in those ministry positions. So, nice fish, I appreciate it.
No.
Guys, I hope you've enjoyed the segment. We've had the minister with Zotwa and they've explained it. Really, I think that's what it should be about. Stay tuned to the show. One more segment coming up. Let's bring the full gang back and find out their thoughts. Hello guys, welcome back. Hope you've enjoyed that watch. Football on 216 always does it differently, right? We'll go to wherever parts of the country you want us to go. That SM Legacy tournament took place all the way in Limpopo, says the minister. Guys, I don't know, we took place in that interview.
Yeah.
Uminister Muza Marugutu team.
Yeah, into engichazayo kakhulukazi ukuthi abantu manje sebeyabhilivela ebholeni lasekhasi. And nami ngihlale ngilipush because vele ama-talent bafethu uzowathola ekhasi. So iyangijabulisa leyo nto leyo because mawuchecka naleya i-tournament into eyenzakalile makubhekela laphana ama-senior. Ama-senior adlala ama-games awu-32, amagoli bewu-83, ama-penalty abewu-14 kwi-tournament yonke. Ama-penalty akoriwe awu-12, kwagejwa awu-2. And then ama-top goal scorer bekuyena-ke laphana uThato wayebahumi FC. Ama-red card abewu-14. Futhi ngale ke ziyakhala ngale.
Ngeliwa ngale
yakhala. Sabe u14 ama-yellow card lalela 133. Kuma game
Who's keeping charge of all these states? Baphethu Coscarinho balayo.
Kamane bana. So yiyo ke laphana i-stats nje sawonke lemidlalo. Angazi mani ngiyazi abantu be-state but esho ukuthini ngale league le? Is it intswempu? Is it
index ithini lebza?
wa bona ntsala ka go le yana go bontsha gore ba e batla ke re wa itse gore ya go gagametse thata wena mjix le dira di-post all over the place ka jalo go a bontsha gore ba e batla gore ke tournament le gore ba e tlhompha thata okay how we lebela sentle ka dipalopalo I see number e ntle gore so many yellow cards so many red cards I see number e ntle mare go bontsha go ikemisetsa ga batshameki ba wena ntsala ke ebile re bua ka kasi wena Faiso go sengwe se le gore bana ke se lemogile ntse go bua ka eno tournament ya SM Legacy gantsi wena mjix go kasi tournament di dintsi di teng mara ga dina di sponsor mare ye ina le sponsor ntsala ke and re congratulate lone bahumi ele gore gapile 4-1 ne tshameka le madumane o no sitse Rendane a no satse pedi Mandela not Ntate Mandela ano salene Thato Mashamaite man of the match Rendane go bontsha wena ntsala ke gore ba ikemthrite thata ka jalo go nna le sponsor mo tournament ya go kasi go ba thuse ka gore go ba fa le matla that's why bona dipalopalo tse di le go godimo yana wena mjix go bontsha gore ba e batla ene ke tshepa ke dumela gore after this episode e ba tlhagitseng ka kwano ya SM Legacy e tla gola go feta fana ka gore la itse gore re na le influence e serious bana ra godisa ene go gape minister is giving back to the community ka jalo go itumedisa go bona tournament tse dintseng yana mo Africa borwa di tswela pele
yeah all right let's speak about that giving back to the community through a form like this
yeah ke ntho entle thata go gopola gore ditalente tse dintsi di rubullwa gona go tswa go magae go butsung batshameki ba le bantsi bo Thembazwane ba tshamekile go Phillies games wa bona gore ke talente e leng gore e itumedisa sengwe gape se ke batlo se fitisa gore ba bua ka di-sponsor ga ke itse gore go bonolo go kry sponsor ga o le minister ga master minister kokota re batla sponsor a go nna bonolo for sponsor for us
I was about to say he's right
unlike nna ke
balega but it's easy to get a sponsor if you're a minister
into ayisho unathi Zwane kuyona le show
olile ne
wathini unathi konje
wathini
angazi ukuthi kumele kube nomuntu ngaphakathi
kumele ube nomuntu ngaphakathi
yeah so ke tsone dio tse gore o itse mang le gore the process it longa sebaka se se kana ka gore unlike Thando atsa mailo batla sponsor he might not even get it but go ntse fela yalo re bone jalo le setlhopha se le sa attending Swallows ba ita Napoli ka no ileng go le fela under 21 we like to see talent ke go tengo ileng gore ke batho ba ile gore ba ka represent setlhopha sa bo setšhaba mo nakong e tlang man of the match Orias Malachi
lalela amagumnandi even king but bafethu that's been a good time SM Legacy as well as the minister Soli Mulatsi but we move on. The biggest fixture in the youth setup, the biggest game in the Gauteng Development League, where it takes place this coming Sunday. 2 words, 2 teams, Kaizer Chiefs, Mamelodi Sundowns, some fighting for titles, but I can promise one thing, it's going to have fireworks, guys.
wa bona ntsala ke Sfiso buile mo bekeng e fitile gore motshameko wa bofelo wa Sundowns le Chiefs e gapa mo e gapile lega yeah go ntse yalo ntsala ke e gapang no yena Sontaga e gapile lega ka jalo re tla bona ra itse gore Chiefs ya ba tlhoditsa Sundowns kwa na 13 ka gonne ma Chiefs la ba itse bana ba mebele o tshwere bana ba ho go bo mosimane mo coach Lungano ba nna ba tshameka ba itseng kgwele bo maruma ba bannye ka jalo physicality na go tseding not all the time fela na go tseding ya gona gore tshameka karolo e itseng ka gonne Chiefs ba mmele ba tshameka Sundowns ba tshameka ba bannye fela re tla bona wena mjix ka go ragere under 13 this coming Sunday ya fela e gapang between Chiefs and Sundowns ke dithimega
yeah and bengicathu zothi most viewed feature kahle
most viewed fixture most viewed fixture
last year ama numbers ashilo Kaizer Chiefs Mamelodi Sundowns ngiyengezwa ngandlebe enye ngathi Kaizer Chiefs beyifuna ukusifaka e-stadium wara yeah, but then uyakhala ulunga e-stadium because uyazi ukuthi endaweni mayikude abomusimani abodiro kula so akazoyenzakalani leyo game leyo, but then into engiyibonayo lunga ngiyamthanda but mina ngibona i-Chiefs ihamba la manje.
When ubona i-Chiefs ihamba ne. What are some news to break to us before we get to the other games? I want to just let you get the elephant out the room. What's the elephant?
The elephant e tlotswa ene go bonolo khangene ke bile mo maleng ke gore coach Matthew George ne gona le dikgonagala gore o tlotswa go TS Galaxy ke nnete o tswile ka tsatsi la Sontaga ga re le go ditshirela coach Matthew George tla ba pereka boyelo ana le rona Sundowns e signile Matthew George o fetile TS Galaxy.
Matthew George
a le makale gore mafelo a beke le mmone ko Clapham TS Galaxy ga e tshameke you can't go scout the players tsa Sundowns na ba tlang go Clapham
and re mona le scout da o pole ne go re fetsa Sundowns.
Hey,
what team is you going to coach though?
ke tla go tlela dikgang
No, tell us now.
ga jana ga ilo ka disa stopper sepe mme fela o tlo tsena mo the development structure sa Sundowns re bone jalo le Ezrom Nyandoro lene o tsene mo structure sa development sa Sundowns ba tisa
journalist. Nice one.
Nice one. Our reliable source. Nice one, Oda. Guys, the under 13 division though is not the only one that still has a race on their hands.
Yeah.
The under 19s are still really competing. There's Highlands, there's Chiefs, there's Sundowns. Guys, Chiefs and Sundowns also meet this weekend. That's also, I think, going to be a decider.
Yeah.
Under 19 ke lebetse baba Mnguni wa meet Sifiso Mnguni gore ha tshameke ka under
assassin.
Silent saluta Sifiso Mnguni a rasa go benching sala mutlu never ka se mutlu baba Mnguni o mo fit Highlands Park. I'm not saying gore ba etsaile khonagalo ke go dimo thata gore Highlands Park under 19 ba ka etsa ke tsamala Highlands Park.
Yeah, because mina mangicabanga nje ama games kakhulukazi ama under 19 phezulu kwekhanda lami zokhumbula ukuthi sise Panorama i-Chiefs yadliwa kabuhlungu lapha. Mamelodi Sundowns nayo kuyasho ngithi ukuthi isilungiselele next season so idlala intwana zama under 17. So Highlands Park anami ngakunikeza lapha izoyidefenda lelo.
Nikezi Highlands. All let's end with you.
ke nagana gore na nga fetola lewa ke nagana gore Mamelodi Sundowns under 19 ba na le tšhono gore ba tsamaye ba pushe ba Mnguni o gopole ba na le Kamva Moni ga rato bona letloa
ya batho bona ne
ga batho bona nete Kamva Moni
So Antwani Mnandi.
o tla ba tshwarisa bothata go ditshurela mo mafelong a beke ga re like le bua gore this fixture ke league decider o tla fenya mfu a re ke tla bona
ya ila lehela.
So, what more needs to be said? Magumnandi, Ipinking, all roads lead to Nachorena Village on Sunday. Guys, we hope to see you there. Come through in numbers. We know that millions of you will be watching on DSTV 216 anyway. Let us know your thoughts on X using the hashtag football on 216 as to who you think is going to win. And even during the day, Ora likes refreshing and checking what you guys are saying. So interact with us. Let us know, but it's bound to be good. That's episode 23 done and dusted. Thank you to the minister for coming through and giving us his insight. And that was good. I think I really enjoyed that. Coscarinho, they say he's Coscarinho from Rio de Val. Not Rio de Janeiro. Well, the man from Rio de Val has given us the anticipations for how the year may potentially end. We'll have to see as to how right his numbers are, but they're usually dead spot on. Thank you so much to my panelists. Once again, guys, it's been a good time. We'll do it once again next week, Tuesday. But until the next one, it's a cutting.
abatsa khwele ai hapantsha le letloa
Hapanza sa ya tata.
Satya Tsefo, wala gasha.